So we'll be studying First Peter chapter 1 verse 7 today. Once again, welcome to season 8 Bible teaching. First Peter chapter 1 verse 7. That the trial of your faith, being much more precious than of gold that perisheth, though it be tried with fire, might be found unto praise and honor and glory at the appearing of Jesus Christ. Now, the trial of your faith. Trial means to test, to examine, to prove, to try something. Now, faith in the context of this study is not the faith defined in Hebrews 11:1 as. Now, faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. In the context of this study, faith is also not the confidence that God will do a certain thing. Faith in the context of this study means loyalty, allegiance, commitment, love for God, and faithfulness. Like the commitment a woman has to her husband, that she will never turn her back on him. Now, this faith is tried, it is tested, it is proved, it is examined, it is put to test by God. When a manufacturer produces a heavy-duty vehicle, he runs it through a series of tests. He drives it along a very bad road with stones and potholes. He hits it with various strong objects to know if it will fall apart. He loads its boots with heavy load. He drives it on far distances. When it has retained its strength through the rigorous test without falling apart, he goes ahead to market it to the public because now he has the confidence in its tenacity. Let's read on. Being much more precious than gold that perisheth. This part tells us that our faith is more valuable than earthly gold, though it be tried with fire, that our faith is tried with fire, just as gold is tried with fire. Now, to attain a level of purity, gold has to be tried with fire. Like we discussed in our last season, season 7, gold has various levels of purity. The measure of purity gold has is known as carats. The more refined gold is, the higher the carats. So there's 9 carats, 10 carats, 14 carats, and there's 24 carats, which is the purest gold. How is gold tried with fire? Malachi 3:2-3. But who may abide in the day of his coming, and who shall stand when he appeareth? For he is like a refiner's fire and a fuller's soap, like bleach that they use to make clothes that are supposed to be white to become very white. And he shall sit as a refiner and purifier of silver. And he shall purify the sons of Levi, and purge them as gold and silver, that they may offer unto the Lord an offering in righteousness. Now, when gold is extracted from the ground, it is extracted as ore. Ore is a rocky substance that contains sand, stones, and valuable minerals like tin, copper, gold, iron, silver, zinc, and aluminium. The sand and stones are removed, leaving the ore concentrate, which is a composite of the aforementioned minerals, zinc and coal. Now, this concentrate is then put in a crucible. What is a crucible? A crucible is a metal pot in which the ore concentrate is melted. The crucible is then put in a furnace. A furnace is an enclosed space where fire is produced. The fire in the furnace then melts the concentrate and it becomes liquid. After it becomes liquid, the impurities in the concentrate, the copper, the tin, the zinc, silver, aluminium, rise to the surface of the liquid. Now, these impurities are known as dross. Then the refiner skims the dross off the surface of the liquid. Just like when you're cooking soup and you mistakenly add too much salt, then you quickly use a spoon to scoop it out from the surface of the stew. Or like when you're making tea and you mistakenly add too much sugar, then you quickly use a spoon to scoop it out from the surface of the tea. The skimming is done until pure gold is left. The refiner will know the gold is pure when he can see his reflection in the melted gold. Now in Malachi 3:2-3, God is compared to the refiner, and he shall sit as a refiner. Sitting here speaks of dedication, commitment, willingness, readiness, and yielding of time to do something. God sits like a refiner sits to refine gold. Refining the gold is something of interest to the refiner. It is important to the refiner, so he sits to do it. Have you ever heard the saying, mop this floor until I can see my teeth shining inside? Now, God will know you are refined enough when he can see his reflection in you. When God can see himself in you, then your faith is pure enough. Remember, we're not talking of confidence that God will do something. We're speaking of loyalty, allegiance, dedication, faithfulness. When God sees himself in you, what does God look like? In Exodus 34, 5 to 7, God introduced himself as long suffering. So God is long suffering. When God looks at our faith, he wants to see long suffering. This also means endurance. Now, there was a farmer in Matthew 13, 2 to 23 who planted seeds. There were three interesting categories of seeds. Some fell on the wayside, some fell on stony ground, some fell among thorns. The places where they fell was not the issue. The nature of their hearts was the issue. So they were destroyed not because of the wayside, the stones and the thorns, but because in their hearts there was lack of understanding of what they heard. Their commitment, resolve, and dedication to God was not deep enough. And three, they were covetous in their hearts and prioritized worldly desires over God. Now let's compare this to a mustard seed. A mustard seed is a small seed but has amazing capabilities. It grows rapidly. So if it was planted on the wayside, like the seeds in the first category, it would have translated the understanding it had into germination, and birds would not have been able to eat it. A mustard seed can grow its roots as deep as 60 inches into the ground. So even if it was planted on stony ground, like the seeds in the second category, it would have grown roots deep enough to reach where soil is and get the stamina it needs to survive. If it was planted among prickly plants, thorns, it would have dominated the whole space beneath the soil around it. Now, mustard plants can choke out weeds by growing rapidly and shading them. This means poor access to sunlight for the plants that want to choke them. Now, the roots of mustard plants have a suppressing characteristics because they produce chemicals known as glucosinolates. Mustard plants are allelopathic. Allelopathy means when one thing releases chemicals that inhibit, restrict, like prevent the growth of other things. So these chemicals, which the roots of the mustard plant releases, hinder the growth of other plants around the mustard plant. Mustard plant is also a natural pesticide because it fights against and repels pests. Mustard plants survive in disturbed areas like roadsides and even places where there has been a fire. Imagine a piece of land that is burnt and is black. A mustard plant will still thrive in that place. So when we are faced with fire, a difficult situation, we should be like a mustard seed, which through its hardened resolve, determination, persistence, endurance, survives and doesn't let anything pull down its commitment.